In 1966, a well-known scientist released a book with information that could impact everyone on Earth.
But before anyone could read it, it was classified by the CIA. We only learned about it a few years ago when it was declassified.
The CIA only released 57 pages of the original 284-page manuscript, and those pages have been...
Why does the CIA think this book is so dangerous that they had to hide it from the public for 60 years?
It's because the man who wrote it, Dr. Chan Thomas, describes the end of the world.
That title might sound like he's being cute, but he's actually being literal. This book is about the end of the world as we know it.
Hey! Is this one of those stories where you scare the hell out of us, then you wrap it up with a happy ending?
Well, you're half right. No. If I soil my bowl again, you gotta remember to edit that out.
They didn't know you had an accident. You just told them. Well?
Dr. Chan Thomas presents evidence of a coming shift in the Earth's poles that creates a cataclysm.
Thomas says these pole shifts are cyclical. On regular intervals, a disaster wipes out almost all human life, and we start over again in the Stone Age.
He says we're actually the 6th advanced civilization to evolve on Earth. There may have been even more civilizations.
But the further back you go, the harder it is to know for sure, because some of these civilizations occupied continents that no longer exist.
Dr. Chan Thomas isn't the first scientist to publish this theory. In 1958, Charles Hapgood published Earth's Shifting Crust.
This book discussed the Earth crustal displacement hypothesis, which says that sometimes the Earth spins really fast, and the continents are rearranged.
When Hapgood proposed the idea of continental drift, it was called pseudoscience.
But Hapgood had his supporters. Albert Einstein wrote the forewords for 2 of his books. Of course, we know Hapgood...
Pangaea was the supercontinent that broke apart to form the landmasses that exist today. But before Pangaea, there was the supercontinent Gondwana, which existed for 400 million years.
Before Gondwana, there was Pannonia. Before that, Rodinia, Columbia, Atlantica, Arctica.
Kenorland, and Valbara. These were all supercontinents that eventually broke apart and reformed.
After working with a few researchers, a scholar released a publication as an update to previous theories.
In this book, Hapgood suggested that the Earth's poles are constantly moving. This piece of pseudoscience was eventually proven true.
Hapgood believed that a pole shift between 15 and 40 degrees occurred around 9,600 BC, or 11,600 years ago.
Younger Dryas. The Piri-Reis map is something that has baffled scientists for hundreds of years. On the Piri-Reis map is the continent of Antarctica.
But Antarctica wasn't discovered until 1820, and Piri-Reis claimed the information on his map came from much older maps.
If Charles Hapgood was right and the Earth's axis was shifted 15 degrees from where it is now, Antarctica wouldn't be completely covered in ice.
Hapgood believed an Ice Age civilization, long forgotten, mapped the coast thousands of years ago. Though many of Hapgood's theories have proven to be true, the Ice Age pole shift is still controversial.
We do know the poles shift over time. We also know the continents drift over a very long period of time.
But Dr. Chan Thomas, in his book, The Adam and Eve Story, says the shift happens in less than a day.
Chan Thomas describes in detail what this will be like. And it's worse than any Hollywood disaster movie ever conceived.
Far worse. Chan Thomas begins his book with a chapter that describes exactly what we'll experience during this pole shift event.
But before we get into it, now might be a good time to hit pause and grab fresh underwear.
I've learned to listen to him when he says that.
With a rumble so low as to be inaudible, then fuming into a thundering roar, the earthquake starts.
Although it's not like any earthquake in history. In California, mountains shake like ferns in a breeze.
The mighty Pacific rears back and piles up into a mountain of seawater more than 2 miles high.
Then starts its race eastward. The wind attacks, shredding everything in supersonic bombardment.
The mountain of Pacific seawater follows the wind eastward, burying Los Angeles and San Francisco as if they were but grains of sand. Across the continent, the 1,000-mile-per-hour wind wreaks unholy vengeance everywhere, mercilessly.
Here's why there's such violent wind. The Earth spins about 1,000 miles per hour.
We don't feel this because everything is spinning together. The land, the water, the atmosphere.
But Thomas says that when the pole shift happens, the Earth's air and water continue to spin, but the land masses stop.
In many places, the Earth's molten sublayer breaks through and spreads a sea of white-hot liquid fire.
In a fraction of a day, all vestiges of civilization are gone. The great cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco,
Barely a stone is left where millions walked just a few hours ago.
Think of what would happen if you were in a car going 1,000 miles per hour that suddenly stopped. Now think of what would happen if a large city going 1,000 miles per hour suddenly stopped.
Skyscrapers would collapse. Millions of people would be thrown around like they were in a food processor.
South America finds the Andes not high enough to stop the violence. In less than a day, the entire continent is burned by molten earth fire.
Buried under miles of turbulent seas, then turned into a harsh, frozen environment. Everything freezes.
man, beast, plant, and mud in less than 4 hours. When the shift happens, the land on Earth stops moving, so the sun stops moving in the sky.
That means one side of the Earth is going to get really hot and the other side really cold. A temperature drop of 180 degrees. That means even the warmest parts of the planet are going to be 80 degrees below zero.
Everything is frozen solid within 4 hours.
Europe cannot escape the Alps. Pyrenees' worlds are shrunken, then heaved even higher. When the wall of seawater strikes, Western Africa and the sands of the Sahara vanish. The fury marches on for 6 days. During the 6th day, the ocean starts to settle. The Bay of Bengal Basin, just east of India, is now at the North Pole.
The Pacific Ocean, just west of Peru, is at the South Pole. New ice caps begin to form in the new polar areas.
Greenland and Antarctica, now rotating equatorially, emerge with verdant tropical foliage.
Thomas is predicting a 90-degree shift of the Earth's axis, basically turning the planet on its side.